Hello, everybody, and this is a weird one. This is new. This is new for us, Andy. But this is PAX Online. This is the way we're going to be doing interviews and seeing games this year, Andy. This is going to be very, very interesting. Of course, we are going to be talking about Ghostrunner right now. So we have Simon, who is the head of the studio here. Simon, why don't you introduce your team and then give us a little rundown of what is Ghostrunner? We'll start from there.
Yeah, of course. Hello, guys. Great to be here in online version of the PAX. Like I said, my name is Simon, and I'm a head of studio of One More Level. Today, I'm here with Jan, our narrative designer.
Hello.
And with Marcin, our lead level designer.
How you doing, Marcin? How are you?
Hello.
He's good. So anytime that people ask us about Ghostrunner, I have one word that we are preparing you guys ultra-fast action game slasher about the cyber ninja in cyberpunk setting, and this is pretty much what I should tell you at the beginning. And this more important info here is that we are going to release this game this year. Definitely it will be this year. Nice. On PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. But I think that Jan is the better person than me to tell you more about the Ghostrunner, let's say, legacy. So, Jan.
Sure. Jan, take it away, man. The more you guys tell us, the less we have to flap our gums. So this is good. So take it away, Jan.
Let's go then. The story for this one is pretty simple. You start at the very bottom of Dharma Tower and make your way to the top. What is Dharma Tower? It's a mega structure in which the remnant of humanity lives on after a cataclysm that basically ended the world. So ours is a post-apocalyptic brand of cyberpunk mixed with all those rusty, gritty, and dark images. Basically, it's not a new take, but it's a very special kind of cyberpunk, and you can't really confuse it with those more high cyberpunk types. As I said, the journey starts at the very bottom, and then you gradually make your way up. The Ghostrunner wakes up with little knowledge about his surroundings, and as the player learns more and more about his surroundings and about his story, so does the protagonist. About the gameplay in Ghostrunner, because it ties up really closely with the narrative, Ghostrunner is basically a combat cyborg, an elite of the elite, the best of the best, and his main tools are his sword and his mobility. So throughout the game, the challenge is how to deal with enemies that wield guns and projectiles and many different kinds of weaponry with mostly just your sword.
Yeah, and also we should add here that our main protagonist is pretty vulnerable. So this is the reason that we decide to add here a mechanic: one hit, one kill. So you are vulnerable, your enemies also, and what is important thing that each time you meet a new foe, you need to learn him, how to move to eliminate him, how you need to change your approach to reach your opponent here. And I think the Marcin, who's game designer and our lead level designer, who can tell you more about this.
Sure.
Yeah, so as guys were saying, the game is one hit, one kill. So this approach came from our previous game, actually. That's called God's Trigger, and it's a top-down shooter, twin-stick shooter, heavily inspired by Hotline Miami and games of that nature. So when we were planning on Ghostrunner, we wanted to add that mechanic because we were really familiar with it, and we strongly believe that it fits the game. It makes you move all the time. When you stand, you die here. And as Simon said, it's very important to present to the player the new enemies, new challenges, new objects, and make him understand what to do in the current situation, like what actual movement is required to beat the level, and make it clear and fun and fair, actually. So to make it fun and fair, we've put plenty of checkpoints in between fights. and there's plenty of breathing space and other activities besides slicing and killing, dashing, wall running. You enter, for example, the cyber void, which is a virtual reality space where most of the story exposition actually takes place, and some light puzzles, like connected to the parkour, of course. And like Jan said, Ghostrunner is equipped with a sword, but he also uses some abilities like Blink. This ability allows him to dash through a big part of space and slice through a couple of enemies in one motion. And other things, and prior progression makes the game more interesting in that regard.
Basically, the characters... Oh, sorry, did I interrupt you?
Yeah, go on.
Thought we were done.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it also ties into the story, because the Ghostrunner being damaged and waking up with little of his former power, whatever happened to him before his awakening, is looking to restore himself, to relearn his old abilities, and to rediscover how to use his body to full extent of his abilities. And as he climbs the tower, he gradually regains that. So as you progress up, you also rediscover, relearn, and gain access to a couple of different techniques, couple of abilities, and then your toolkit expands accordingly.
Andy, I want to kick it over to you, but I want to ask you actually a question. Did you get a lot of like these Katana Zero 2D platform slashers, kind of that vibe, but translated into 3D? Because that's kind of like what I was feeling when I was watching the demo, play over and over. I was watching the different play styles and seeing the player go through the motions and trying to avoid getting hit and all that stuff, and then like trying to figure out kind of like the perfect run to get through and stuff like that. Did you get those kinds of vibes as well?
Well, yeah, and also to your last point, I really feel like I'm just always playing a speedrun of this game while I'm playing it. Mm-hmm. Like and it's hard to retrain your brain to stop and think, okay, where are the enemies at? You have to be basically you can't stop moving for a second.
Yeah, exactly.
The second you do to like even think, you're dead. And it's nice to see a game that every once in a while comes along and sort of reminds you that you suck at video games.
Yeah.
But at the very least, this game is it's so stylish, and it has, I want to say also, one of the best soundtracks I've heard in a long time. This soundtrack is amazing. Can you guys talk more about the soundtrack a little bit of Ghostrunner?
Yeah, definitely. Well, the man who is responsible for this soundtrack is Daniel Deluxe. So, guys, if you love synthwave, darkwave, you're gonna love this soundtrack. And what we want to bring here by adding Daniel Deluxe to our team, the feeling that the music is helping you to go with the flow to the gameplay. So every time, you are running through the walls, you are, killing a bunch of enemies, the music is with you. And with the music, you feel, excitement, you feel strong, you feel powerful. It's of course it also adds an element of atmospheric of the places that you hear what you're doing. But I think personally that with the music, this game gives you a lot of great vibes, and you just totally into it. The immersion is really great with music that prepared Daniel Deluxe here. So I would say that music is one of the few important pillars of the game.
Yeah.
I'd
Go ahead,
add to that. I'd add that when the beat really kicks in and you're really in the flow, jumping from wall to wall and slashing one enemy after another, it starts to play like a rhythm game, really. Yeah. When you're really into it and it really flows, sure, and you just go through them one after another and the beat still goes on.
It also does a good job at making it so that if you are standing still, you feel weird. standing still, just because of the way the music is still like pumping and like kind of getting you going. You're like, it's kind of like looking to the side and not playing a few notes in Rock Band or something like that. You're just like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm supposed my energy is supposed to be going.
Yeah, you are correct. You know, I always when I hear listening our music playing Ghostrunner, I remember when the first time I played the Doom from the 2016. And I remember the fact that when I hear this soundtrack, every time I feel all right, I will just crush these demons and it's gonna be great. So we also thinking in very similar way here. So is that the reason why Martin at the beginning of our talk bring up the things that the Doom is one of our inspiration, because we would like to give you everything that we have to give you the best excitement that you can reach.
Are there any kind of like boss encounters or like epic, larger scaled fights? I see you. It's more about the puzzle and the environment, and a few scattered enemies while you're just kind of chaining attacks. But are there any of these bigger moments where you're fighting something a little larger? Maybe it's a little less speed and more strategy.
Marcin, go ahead. It's a question for you.
Well, yeah, definitely we have boss fights, but I believe it wasn't really shown in the media yet, so we can't really discuss this in detail right now. But it's not all just, like you said, slashing, dashing. You have to think about your movement, and yeah, definitely there are some puzzles and things to make the game really flow. It's not just constantly on the 10. You have your pacing by making the puzzle, by making the combat, making the boss fight, and learning about the story, finding collectibles. It's like a flow, and yeah, the music helps. Like guys said, it's making it going in one motion. Yeah. So to answer your question, yes, there are boss fights, but we haven't shown them yet. Yeah, and and they are not, basic bullet sponges. You have to make a gameplay approach that's you have to figure out. You have to figure it out. It's not just pressing one button. If you know what I mean.
Andy,
I want to talk a bit about the game's reception when it was first revealed to the world. I think a lot of people, it caught them off guard when they first saw this game. And a lot of my friends who purely play games like Halo or Destiny, this game was popping up in their feeds and they were going bananas for it. Did you expect that sort of response? Like this would be one of the most wanted games of the year?
Well, it's a good question. Marcin, you will start because you are from the beginning with the project.
It's a great question. But if I may be honest, we were focusing to make it as good as possible, to make it fun, to make it fair. We were thinking about that constantly, like how to make it better, how to make it, so you don't have to have cutscenes that stop you, and you know what to do, what's going on, and keep it fresh, interesting, pacing-wise, story-wise. Like the reception, as you said, was overwhelming, to say the least. But I don't think we were expecting that it will be like explosion or something like that. But we know we had a fun making it. We know playtesters and everybody was having fun with it, so we were feeling really strongly about it. Yeah, so it's hard to say. We were just focused to make it as fun as possible.
Everything kind of just was happening around you as like a happy little cherry on top of the pie, I guess.
Well, it helps that the publishers provide the marketing, so it's more people see it, like you've said. So it's not just, happy accident. It's actually work of the whole team. So,
I will add here that, when I first heard about the Ghostrunner, I worked for a different company from a different game. And, after a few months, I have received a call Simon, maybe you would like to join One More Level as a head of studio and working with Ghostrunner. And I made a decision in about 2 minutes.
Wow.
Mostly because it was a game that I always want to be a part of. I'm a hardcore gamer. I love cyberpunk, and you have an opportunity to be a part of this project and help people to bring it alive. It was kind of no-brainer, actually. So this is my story. Why what I'm thinking about the Ghostrunner and the reception. One more thing here is at the beginning of May we published a public demo on Steam, and people totally love it. The speedrunners, really test our game. They show us every exploit point. They show us that we need to have some improvement. It was a great lesson for us, and their feedback is still very important, and we would like to build with them and the rest of the community more and better Ghostrunner. But the fun here is that after the demo, the 505 asked our current publisher, All In Games, to make some business, to join the team of the publishers. So it was what I can say, when someone huge like 505 asked our publishers, guys, maybe we want to make some deal and maybe we want to be a part of the Ghostrunner. It's the best business reception that you can have for your game and for your people. So yeah, I think that big things are happening, and I hope that more big things will stay still ahead of us.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Andy, go ahead, bud.
Yeah, I'm watching the gameplay now. It's like, who would want to be a part of this game?
Yeah.
It looks like so much fun, and it is fun. I mean, I've played like a quick demo, like you guys said before. It wasn't enough for me. It's already over. Like, things are happening now. I freed that prisoner, and things are getting intense. Now I gotta wait. How long do we have to wait is the real question.
Hey, listen. So this year.
Yeah, guys, I can assure you that we definitely release this game this year. And hopefully we can share some new updates in the next couple of days or weeks. But I can assure that this game will be published this year.
I have a really
on the PC.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
PC, Xbox, and of course PlayStation 4.
I have a really nerdy question because I know people are going to be wondering about this. For a game like this, a speed running type game, what are we talking about as far as FPS on this game? Now, PC, uncapped, all that other fun stuff. What are we looking like from a technical aspect for the consoles and PC?
Good question. Maybe Martin will help me a little bit.
Well, first of all, One More Level is making the PC port, but Sleepgate Ironworks provides the console port. So I can't say for sure the exact numbers, but I think it will be running pretty smooth. On PC, we tested it's really coming together, I think. And the performance is really important to this game, as you've said. Yeah. We constantly making sure that it's running as smooth as possible. I'm not really that technical guy to answer your question.
Sure.
Like in the detail I would like to. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. No. Yeah. One thing that I would like to add, the fact we are constantly, working with NVIDIA here, it's also a big help for us. Because we already add the RTX technology, now we are working how we can, have a little good latency here, the performance overall. So I think that a few people from NVIDIA is really helping us to have a really good performance, because the performance, the stability of this game. It's really important in terms of the video content creators, speedrunners. So yeah, it's one of our prior right now.
Awesome.
Is one last question before we is next gen part of the conversation for you guys? Are you thinking about bringing this game to PS5 or the Series X, for example?
It's a good and important question, actually, because obvious thing here is that we are developers and we need to check updates about the next gen consoles, and we are doing it. We also believe that the new console will bring us new opportunities and new options to make the stories, the technical things even better. But like we said previously, now we are totally on developing process, and it's hard to say when we can ask ourselves how about the new next gen consoles. So that's my answer for this question. We of course waiting for the next gen consoles, because we are players as well, and we are always curious what will happen, what kind of games that will be available, and we're really looking forward to it. But it's too early to say something about Ghostrunner and the next gen consoles. But it's obvious that we need to consider it at least and talk about it.
Awesome. Well, this was great, guys. Thank you so much for taking your time out to do this little interview. We look forward to everything. Once more, tell everybody when and where they could and how they could follow you guys on social media.
Yeah. First, it's a good question, because I forget to mention that we have a beta program that you can jump in. There will be exclusive beta program, because you need to jump and add to yourself to the Discord server, official Ghostrunner Discord server. Then you need to fill a short document, and maybe our community managers will pick you as one of the testers of the Ghostrunner beta. This is one thing, so I encourage you to go and try. But if you don't have a chance to be a part of a beta program, at the end of September we are going to publish a public demo on Steam, and you will be able to once again jump into the Ghostrunner. So there will be options to check our game before the release, and this release will be happening this year.
Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this has been Ghostrunner. Thank you, Jan.
Thank you, guys.
Simon. Thank you, Marcin. Take it easy. Thank you, Andy, for joining me. And as always, please be excellent to each other.